More about Flash. Introducing layers and the timeline. The timeline is above the stage in the Flash workspace. The timeline, which contains layers and frames, helps you organize assets in your document and also controls a document's content over time. Flash documents can play over a length of time, like movies or sound, which is measured using frames. Layers are like transparencies that stack on top of one another, and each layer can contain images, text, or animations that display on the stage. The FLA file you just worked on has one layer, Layer 1, with contents of a single frame. This is the default way that a Flash document opens. Creating a new layer. In any Flash project, you'll need to create at least a few layers. You need to separate certain elements onto their own layers, particularly when you start to animate objects. You can also stack graphics on top of each other and can even create a sense of depth or overlapping by using multiple layers. To create a new layer, follow these steps. Step 1. Select the background layer on the timeline and click Insert Layer to create a new, empty layer. Step 2. The new layer is created above the background layer. Step 3. Double-click the name of the new layer so the layer's name becomes editable. Step 4. Type Animation to rename the new layer. Graphics on the stage are arranged according to the layer on the timeline. For example, anything that you put on the animation layer will appear above the image on the background layer. You will add, File, Save, before you proceed to the next exercise. Hide and show layers. You can hide layers to view content on other layers. When hiding layers, you have the option of hiding all layers in your document simultaneously or hiding layers individually. Click the eye icon above the layers. In response, a red cross appears in the eye column that will hide all the layers of your document simultaneously. All contents disappear from the stage. One by one, click each red cross in the column and watch the content for layer reappear on the stage. Also, controls to the right of each layer name let you show or hide the contents of layer. The 3 different object types. Flash handles 3 types of objects: graphics, buttons, movie clips. Graphic objects. You may have already noticed that when you edit graphic objects, you have the entire timeline available for it. This means that graphics objects are not limited to static elements. You can easily create looping animations simply by creating graphic objects that use more than one frame in the timeline. Button objects. Buttons are different from this. When you create a button object, you only have 4 frames in the timeline. One is for drawing the button in normal state. Another is for drawing the button when a rollover is detected. The third is for drawing the button as you want it to look when the user clicks the button. Fourth one is used to specify which area you want to react to. Movie clip objects. Movie clip objects are similar to graphic objects on the surface. In both cases, you can create entire animations that can be dragged into your main movie. But while animations made as graphics objects simply loop over and over, you can control the movie clip completely. The function that helps to create objects to be used several times is called symbol. The copies of the original object in Flash is called instances. The term tweening means in between. Sometimes you want to add an effect that is graduated over several frames. For example, a car moving from the left side of the movie to the right side. Instead of moving the car a little bit on each frame, you can simply position the car on the first frame. Then, insert a keyframe where the car should stop. Finally, tell Flash to move between the two keyframes. Tweening simply means going from one keyframe to another while taking small steps for each of the ordinary frames in between. The three types of tweening are motion guide tweening, tint tweening, shapes tweening. Motion guide tweening. A motion guide tweening allows you to easily animate the motion of an object. In motion guide tweening, you don't need to define the location of the object in every frame. You can create a motion tween that will automatically move the object from starting location to ending location. Follow the steps to make a motion guide tweening. Step 1. To insert 30 frames in your movie with the mouse. Click frame 30, layer 1 on the timeline. Then press F5. Step 2. Now, you need to find the element you want to tween. Step 3. Select Library, Graphics in the menu. Step 4. Library, Graphics open. Step 5. Find the bird and with the mouse, drag it into the canvas. Step 6. Use the Scale tool in the toolbox to resize the bird as you like. If your version of Flash does not contain bird, then just use any other object. Step 7. Now, enter a keyframe in frame 30. To do this, first click frame 30 in layer 1 on the timeline. Then press F6. Step 8. Now, double-click the keyframe in frame 1. Step 9. A Frame Properties box pops up. Choose Tweening and in the Tweening drop-down menu, choose Motion. Click OK. Step 11. Right-click Layer 1. A pop-up menu appears. Step 12. Choose Add Classic Motion Guide. Step 13. Now, insert a new layer on top of layer 1 with the motion guide icon to the left of the layer's name. This new layer is called a motion guide layer. Motion guide layers are used for drawing lines that you want an animated symbol to follow. Step 14. Click the motion guide layer to make sure it is the active layer. Click on the layer name where it says Guide Layer 1. Choose Pencil in the toolbox. Make sure Pencil mode is set to Smooth. With the pencil, Draw the line you want the bird to fly along. Here is an example. Step 15. Now, adjust the frame pointer so it points to frame 1. Make sure the snap button is activated. Or, choose View, Snap in the menu to activate snapping. Step 16. With the mouse, place the bird so that its center is at the beginning of your motion guide. The center is indicated by a small plus when selected. A black circle appears when the bird is attached to the motion guide. It can sometimes be hard to get the symbol to snap to the guide. Try zooming in or out if you just can't get the bird to snap to the guide. Release the mouse button when the bird is snapped to the guide. Now, adjust the frame pointer so that it points at frame 30. Repeat at the process, placing the bird at the end of the motion guide. This is a motion guide tweening. The bird will now follow the motion guide when you play the movie. Press Ctrl plus Enter to test your movie. Orient to path direction. If, say, your motion guide was a circle, you would have the bird fly in a thrilling loop. However, it would look odd since the bird would only follow the circle but not actually point the nose in the direction of the circle. During the entire loop, the bird would have its head pointing to the right. Eventually, the bird would fly backwards. If you want the bird to actually follow the circle, not only in movement, but also in different direction, you should do the following steps. Step 1. Double-click the keyframe in frame 1 on layer 1. This will reopen the frame properties box. Step 2. Choose the tweening option. Step 3. Select the Orient to Path Direction option and click OK.